Alright, this was our first test. I'm just going to go over the solution so you have something to look at if you miss something. You have to plug in the -3 for the x. So -3 plugs in for the x here and also there. Use parentheses around it so you don't lose your negative. -3 squared. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. This is the order you have to do things. You look what's inside the parentheses. There's nothing to do inside. Then you go exponents. So -3 squared is 9. Then I can do the multiplication. So 9 times the 2 is 18. Minus a negative means you're adding. So those just kind of cancel each other out. Leaves you 18. Order of operation again. There's nothing to do inside the parentheses. Then I move to the exponents. So 3 squared is 9 times 2 is 18 again. Multiplication, 3 times 8 is 24. Then I just add them all together. Find the area of this ugly guy. So if this is a y squared, then it has to be y times y gives me y squared. This is the same size, must also be a y squared, and then I must have y times y. Well, this length right here is y, that one's y, this one's y. This length right here would be y. This length is 1, so y times 1 gives the area of y. Y and y. This is a side length, so I'm going to scribble it out because it's not part of my perimeter. This whole thing is y, and I take away this part, which is x, because x squared, x times x is x squared. So the whole thing is y minus x. So it's y minus x is this distance from here to here. We have x, 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 x. So now to find the perimeter is the distance all the way around. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 minus 2 is 6x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 x's. There's a lot of sixes. Area is just what's inside. Well, that's an x squared. X squared. That's why I have 3x squared, so there's one up here also. Y squared, there's 2 of them. And there's 3 y's. That's where the 3y came from. Most people miss this because they just didn't make the effort of studying what is the area of a rectangle. You have to know the area of a rectangle is base times height, or length times width, whatever you want to call it. So I have the area of a rectangle is this ugly number, and the length is 7 feet longer than the width. So it's just 7 more. So I just add 7. So I guess the width is 20. I added 7. I got 27. 20 times 27 is 540. Too small. So I guessed something larger. But it was pretty close, so I just guessed 21. 21, 7 larger is 28. 21 times 28 was correct. My 8's kind of look like a 5 there. And so the length is 28 feet. Combining like terms, all the x squareds. 4 plus 8 is 12, minus 2 is 10. Negative, all my x's I'm looking at, so -3 minus 13 is -16. Plus 5 is -11x. And then I look at what's left. 3 minus 18 plus 3 gives us -12. Once again, you have to know the area formula for rectangles and a triangle. Rectangles just base times height, And a triangle is 1/2 the base times height, since it's half of a rectangle. I divided it here. So this little rectangle is 8 times 10. And that's where I did it. If this part is 8, so is that part, since it's a rectangle. And this guy right here must also be 8, since that 16 is the total distance. 10 and 14 is 24. So this distance right here is 24. So 8 times 24 gives me that area. This guy's 8. If this is 24, and the whole thing is 30, this little part's got to be 6. I threw that in to mess you up, and a lot of you jumped all over it. Remember, the base and the height have to form a 90-degree angle, which is called perpendicular. They have to be perpendicular to each other. So that is not the height. 8 times 6 divided by 2 is 24. Each area added together would be the whole thing. And there it is.